Hey yo, squad fam, what is poppin'? Today we got another movie review. All right, so I just went to go see Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Perfection. All right, I just want to start off. J.K. Rowling has done an amazing job of creating this universe. All right, it's very good. Okay, so she's done a very beautiful job of that. Okay, now let's get into this movie. Okay, spoiler alert because this is a new movie and people all you people probably haven't seen it yet, but spoiler alert right here. Okay, stop watching right now if you don't want spoilers. Okay, now let's get into it. Okay, so very good. Okay, so this is a sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, of course. Okay, and then so yeah, same characters. They just add in Dumbledore. Nicholas Flamel is in the movie too. We get a little glimpse of the Sorcerer's Stone up in there. I was like, oh Lord, connecting it very well. It's very good. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so basically, so Credence from the first movie, the obscurest thing, whatever. Yeah, him. He's trying to find out who he is. He's traveling with Nagini. Yes, that's the snake from Harry Potter. But turns out she's a person who can turn into a snake. But then soon she's not going to be able to turn back into a human. So that's that. Yeah, Nagini's origin story in the same movie. I love it. All right. Uh, so Credence is trying to find out who he really is, who his parents are, and stuff like that. It's 10 out of 10. Good plot for him. Okay, and everybody else is trying to find him and kill him because they think he's a danger. And Grindelwald wants Credence so he can help him take over the world. Uh, so yeah, it's that, and it's just follows. Oh Lord. Okay, so then yeah, they bring back almost everybody from the first movie. Uh, there's more creatures in here. All right. There's a plot twist in the end. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that. Okay. So yeah, and Johnny Depp plays Grindelwald. So 10 out of 10 job there. He's a great actor. Uh, he did a very good job. Um, Glad he's a part of this universe now. Let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, so Newt and all his pals are tracking down Credence. All right, and they find him. They stumble upon Grindelwald by doing so, by following all that. And okay, need to start from the beginning. I'm getting. Uh, so it starts off with Newt going before the Ministry of Magic, trying to get his ban lifted so he can go travel internationally again. Because after what happened in the first movie, he got banned from being able to travel outside of England. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and then they say they say that they'll lift it if he finds Credence and kills Credence. But Newt's all like, "Nah, I can't do that." So his ban doesn't get lifted. All right, and then Jacob and Queenie show up at Newt's house. Okay, and when Newt's tending to all his creatures and beasts that are in his basement. Okay, and they show up, and then they go on this magical adventure to Paris. Okay, so they were in England, now they're in Paris. Newt's commander is now breaking his travel ban by going to Paris. Also, there's a little thing in between there with Dumbledore. Dumbledore shows up and he first asks Newt to go to Paris, but Newt's all like, I don't know about that. But then they do it, and then they go to Paris. Okay, and they're trying to find Credence so they can help Credence. Okay, um, they're on the hot trail. Credence was in a circus. That's where he met Nagini, and those two are hitting it off. They're a thing. Okay, uh, yeah, they sabotage the circus so that they can escape. So Credence and Nagini are out of the circus now because they escaped. Um, Tina from the first movie, she she's following the path of Credence too. Okay, she's the first one there. She's at the circus when they make their grand escape. Okay, and then she loses them because all these monsters are running around everywhere. So then, uh, yeah, and then a guy comes up to her and says, "Hey, if I can show proof that Credence is a relative of mine, will the Ministry of Magic not kill him?" And she says, "Maybe." So then they go, and then it goes back to following Newt and his adventures. So right, so then Newt and Jacob they get in Paris, uh, and they do a little investigation of their own on the circus crime scene. And then they find the guy that told Tina, "Hey, let's get that evidence." Uh, and he takes him to where Tina is. He has Tina locked up in a sewer. Yeah, the old switcheroo right there. He turns out yeah, he. But they got out thanks to one of those little, I don't know what they're called, the little green creatures. Yeah, got them out. They got out. Okay. Uh, they take they take themselves and the guy who trapped them to Nicholas Flamel's house, right? But we don't know it's Nicholas Flamel's house yet. Okay, that gets discovered later on. Tina and Newt go outside because Tina's about to leave. Okay, boom. Jacob's there tending to the guy that trapped him. Because he got knocked out because he had a parasite in his eye. Okay, um, and then. And then Nicholas Flamel comes out of nowhere, looking old as heck. Okay, and he's talking to Jacob, and while they're talking, the the guy who trapped him gets away. Okay, and Nicholas Flamel takes Jacob to this little crystal ball thing. And they make a joke about Jacob makes a joke about going to see an old lady once who tried to tell him his future through one of those, and how she missed a big bit in there. And then they look into the crystal ball, okay, and it shows where Queenie is. So Jacob goes running out because he's like, "I'm gonna get her." So then he goes and does that, and as he runs out, Nicholas Flamel keeps looking at the ball, and he sees the grand fight climax of the movie. He sees death, lots of death. Okay, so then he goes to his I think it's his family tree book. I don't know. And he says, "What do I do?" And they say, "You need to go." So then he goes, even though he hasn't seen action in about 300 years, I think he said. Yeah, there you go. Now he's getting some. He's going to go fight the bad guys. Okay. Um, while this is happening, the Ministry of Magic shows up at Hogwarts, and they talk to Dumbledore, and Dumbledore refuses to go fight Grindelwald, so the Minister of Magic puts these weird things on him so they can track the spells that he casts, and he gets kicked out from teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts. So, yeah. Uh, and then they go, yep, and then it goes back to Paris. Grindelwald is calling all his followers. Okay, I'm skipping ahead here because it's a lot to go through. So then Grindelwald is calling all his followers, and we're going to a cemetery. And in the cemetery, we find out that the guy who trapped Tina and Newt is not a. He's half related to Lestrange. Leta Lestrange. Uh, so then, boom. Okay, we find that out, and then we find out that Lita killed her younger brother on accident. It wasn't her fault. Ship sunk on her way to America. Now she's back in. I don't know, but yeah, ship sunk. That's the end of that. Okay, because the the half brother was saying that Credence was the Lestrange, but then Lita was like, "Nah, he dead." And she pulled out her family tree, and it showed, yeah, he's dead. So Credence is not a Lestrange. Okay. And then they go through the cemetery. All right, they all have a. They come into Grindewald's little meeting area, where he's having his rally of people, and then stuff goes down. One of the Aurors kills one of Grindelwald's followers, and then that's when the rally is broken up. Everybody leaves. Grindelwald makes fire circle around himself, and he invites them to join him inside the circle. And a couple people do. Queenie does. Credence goes through because Grindelwald told Credence he knows who he is. So Credence is trusting Grindelwald and goes through and joins his side. Okay. And then, Lita knows Grindelwald. I guess I admit it. That was confusing for me. And then she tries to kill Grindelwald, but Grindelwald gets her instead. So now Lita Lestrange is dead. She gone. Okay. And then Grindelwald apparates out of there. He's gone now. His fire's running wild. They turned into dragons, kind of like in I think it was Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Crabbe sets the Room of Requirement on fire, and it has the shapes and stuff. Yeah, that's basically what happened to Grindelwald's fire there. He turned into 3 different dragons and just. So then Nicholas Flamel, Newt, and his brother and Tina, they all stab their wands in the ground, say dispel, and it makes a barrier, and they stop the fire. Okay, they stop it. And then one of Newt's nifflers got the little vial thing that Grindelwald wore around his neck. Yeah, it was had blood in it, two little drops of blood just circling around in there. Because, get this, okay, Grindelwald and Dumbledore, because they were best bros when they were in school together. They were bros. They're more than brothers. Dumbledore says in the movie. He says we were more than brothers. So they were pretty tight. Okay, and there's a scene in there where Dumbledore looks in the mirror of Erised, however you pronounce it. And let me tell you, when he tells Harry that he sees some nice knit woolen socks, nope, that's not at all what he saw in that mirror. He saw Grindelwald, and he saw them doing the little blood bond thing with their hands. They cut themselves, and then they touched hands, and yeah, and that was a blood bond that they made with each other, or a blood vow, so that they said they would never fight each other. So that's key. Okay. Now fast forward, okay, because that was a little while ago in the movie, but then fast forward back to where we are now. All right, the Niffler got that little vial that holds their bond together. Okay, because it's shiny. Nifflers love shiny stuff. So then Newt has that now. Okay, and they go to Hogwarts. Okay, the Newt and the Ministry of Magic, they go to Hogwarts. Okay, and Dumbledore comes out to meet him. Okay, and then the Ministry takes off the little cuff things that they had on Dumbledore, and Newt goes to talk to Dumbledore. Okay, and Newt shows him the vial, and that's where it's explained that that him and Grindelwald made a a vow to not fight each other. Yeah, yeah, that's where. Yeah, I think I chose the right words there. Yeah, they vowed not to fight each other. So yeah, and then Dumbledore takes the vial, and Newt says, "Can we break it?" And Dumbledore says, "Maybe, maybe." And then him and Newt, they walk into Hogwarts together, and then it goes to Grindelwald talking to Credence. This is a big plot twist right here. Okay, so uh, near the beginning of the movie, Dumbledore tells Newt that in that it said oh that it said that a phoenix will come to any Dumbledore in need. Okay, that's you remember that if you ever go see the movie, go remember that statement. Okay. Fast forward. Okay, back to Grindelwald and Credence. Credence found this little baby bird. Okay, and he was taking care of it. Okay, Grindelwald comes up, and Credence is like, well, first Grindelwald gives Credence a wand. He's like, I got a gift for you, and he gives Credence a wand. Okay, so now Credence is a full-fledged. He's got a wand now. He's a wizard. Wow. Uh, and then Credence says, "Who am I?" And then Grindelwald takes the bird, the little baby bird. Okay, and then he holds it in his hand, but then it goes on fire and it flies up in the air and it turns into a grand old little phoenix fella. And then Grindelwald repeats it. He said, "It's in your bloodline that a phoenix will come to one of you in need." And then he goes to break the news that Credence is actually I forget I don't know how to pronounce the first name. It's Arius or something like that. Dumbledore. Yeah, he's Arius Dumbledore or something like that. He's related to Dumbledore. That's basically what it boils down to. He's Dumbledore's brother. Okay, and now Grindelwald and Dumbledore's brother, not Aberforth. Aberforth is not in this movie at all. This is like a long lost Dumbledore brother. Okay, now him and Grindelwald are gonna team up. Next movie, gonna try to take over the world. Yeah, it's wild. Got another Dumbledore. Okay, now. Oh, another thing, also, Grindelwald actually might not be a villain after all. They say he does all these bad things, but in the movie, let's just when they're at the rally, he shows everybody a little clip of the future of what's to come, because this takes place before. It takes place after World War I and before World War II. So he shows them the future of like World War II is going to hit, and it has. Shows the nuke exploding thanks to America. Yeah. Yeah, and he just shows them a glimpse of World War II and how devastating that was. And he said, we need to stop the Muggles and their power hungriness, So that's his goal. I mean, honestly, stopping World War II wouldn't be that bad of a thing. So, is he really a villain? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, he's just trying to stop World War II from happening, basically, and take over the world in the process. Wow. But yeah, it was a very, very good movie. Okay. The plot twist at the end with Credence being a Dumbledore and being related to Albus Dumbledore has some wild stuff. Okay, now I assume this is going to be a trilogy of movies. So the third one's probably going to be the last one, or they'll split it up into two parts like they do with every movie. Okay, that has like every book to movie. Did it with Twilight. They did it with Harry Potter. Do with everything. And when it comes down to the last movie, they always break it up into two parts. Okay. So But anyways, if they're gonna stick with just three movies, uh, what we got, I'm assuming that it's gonna have the final showdown with Dumbledore and Grindelwald, the Albus Dumbledore and Grindelwald. We don't know what's gonna happen to Credence. Uh, yeah, this was a very good movie. I would recommend going to see it for sure. Even though I just said the entire thing, it's a really good movie to go watch. So 10 out of 10 would go do that next time you're at the movies and you're like, hey, what do I want to watch? I highly recommend it. On the movie scale, I give it a 10. It's a 10 out of 10 on the movie scale. That is my rating. 10 out of 10. It was very good. Uh, can't wait for the third installment. This is such a good series. J.K. Rowling does a bang up job. I said in the beginning of the video, she does a bang up job of creating this universe for us, and I'm thankful for that. It's very good. I love it. Okay. So, yeah, 10 out of 10. Recommend. Go see it. That is my review. So, I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another video. All right. I got something special planned for tomorrow. All right. Here we go. Peace out.